Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful, what is today, Monday? You know what? I'm stuck in quarantine, so I keep forgetting what day of the week it is. Honestly, all the days are just blurring together. I'm filming this on Monday, but you're watching it on Tuesday. So hey, how's it going? I'm continuing with my Elvis Presley discography journey, and like I said in my prior Elvis video, I have become obsessed with Elvis. I don't know what's come over me, but one day I just became Elvis possessed, and I'm obsessed with this man's music. And I didn't realize there was such a big Elvis community on YouTube. A lot of you commented on my last Elvis video. Some of you even emailed me with boatloads of information. You guys wrote essays about Elvis and his debut album. So thank you. In particular, Eileen, thank you so much for that email. You educated me a lot about Elvis and his debut album. So thank you so much for that email. I really appreciate it. So we'll be moving on to his second album from 1956 called Elvis. There are 12 tracks. And again, this is a very short album, 31 minutes. So let's get right into it with track number 1, Rip It Up. And like always, if I listen to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. But from my knowledge, I don't think I've heard any of these songs before. But anyway, let's get into it. Track number 1, Rip It Up.
Well, it's Saturday night and I just got paid. I'm full about money, don't try to save. Saturday night, baby, and I'm feeling fine. I wanna rock it out. I wanna rip it out. The morning night. Well, I got me a date and I won't be late. I picked her up in my 88. Car starts jumping, I'll have a ball. I wanna rock it out. I wanna shake it out. I wanna rip it out. Long about 10, I'm flying high. I walk on out in the open sky. I wanna rip it up. My heart says go, go, have a time for a Saturday night, baby, and I'm feeling fine. I wanna rock it up. I wanna rip it up. And I'm on tonight.
Woo! Alrighty, and that was track number 1, Rip It Up. I was having a lot of fun, just like all of his songs from his debut album. This one definitely is up to par with what I've listened to on his debut album, and it's just as good, it's just as fun, and the lyrics are a lot of fun as well. My heart says go go have a time because it's Saturday night, babe, and I'm feeling fine. I mean, listening to this song, I can only imagine all the people who were jamming to the song back in 1956. The parties and the crazy dancing and all the teenage girls, and it must have been so much fun getting down to Elvis Presley music back then. I can only imagine. It was such a long time ago. Anyway, track number 2, Love Me.
Like a fool, treat me mean and cruel, crying over you, did on me. Oh, yes.
Alrighty, so that was track number 2, Love Me, and this was a very beautiful ballad. I really loved his voice in this song in particular. I mean, I don't know too much about music. I don't know too much about. I mean, I'm not. What are they called? Singing experts, vocal experts, whatever they're called. I'm not one of those, but I must say he has great control over his voice, and it sounds so good. Well, if you ever go, darling, I'll be oh so lonely, I'll be sad and blue, crying over you, dear. Only I would beg and steal, he would beg and steal just to feel your heart. I mean, can you imagine if you were a girl in the mid 1950s and you were maybe dating Elvis and you were on the verge of waking up, it was close to dawn, you could hear the birds chirping, you all of a sudden hear this guitar played outside your window and this man's beautiful voice. So you go towards the curtains, you pull apart the blinds, you open the window, and there he is, Elvis Presley, singing this song, playing the guitar, looking up at you. Kind of like what he's doing in the album artwork here. He's looking up, playing the guitar, his mouth is slightly open like he's singing. Maybe I've watched too many movies because I feel like we've seen that happen in movies before. But this was back in 1950, so I don't know, I still think it's a romantic thing where you're in your bedroom and you hear this person playing music outside your bedroom and you're like, what is that? You open the window and it's your lover, your boyfriend, or your girlfriend, or whomever, and they're just playing music, romantic music, and they're looking up at you. It's so romantic. Oh my god. Anyway, let's move on to track number 3, When My Blue Mood Turns to Gold Again.
Well, in my blue mood turns to gold again. You'll be back within my arms stay. Will the memories that linger in my heart? And my blue moon again turns to gold. Well, the memories that linger in my heart. Someday they're gonna live again, sweetheart. When the rainbow turns our way, you'll be back within my arms to stay.
Yes! Okay, track number 3, When My Blue Mood Turns to Gold Again. I'm already running out of good things to say. I mean, this was another great song. I mean, Elvis could sing, I feel like I've said this before, but Elvis could sing the phone book. He could sing the phone book. He could sing anything. He could read instructions off of a pamphlet found in a table box that you build from IKEA. They didn't have IKEA back then, but you know what I mean. He could sing anything, and I wouldn't get bored of his voice. He could sing the ingredients off of a package of something, whatever they sold back in the 1950s. A bag of chips. Bag of chips doesn't have a lot of ingredients. What else has a lot of ingredients? He could sing the ingredients to a recipe that your mom or dad or grandma made when you were a kid. That favorite recipe, whether it was a dessert or a dinner, he could sing the ingredients off of that ingredient list of a recipe, and it would be magic. And at this point, I don't care if I'm overreacting to Elvis and his voice. I love it so much, and it's beautiful, and it's amazing, and this is why he is the king of rock and roll, and always will be. Let's move on to track number 4, Long Tall Sally.
Maybe about Uncle John, he claimed he got the military, but he hadn't much far away. Baby, well, long tall Sally, she built a speech, got everything that Uncle John needed over. I saw Uncle John with bald-head Sally. He saw him Mary coming and he got stuck in the alley over. Long tall Sally, she built a sweet Scott. Everything that Uncle John needed over. I saw Uncle John with bald-head Sally. He saw him Mary coming and he got stuck in the alley over.
Track number 4, Long Tall Sally. So much fun, so much fun, so much fun. I mean, even he's saying having me some fun tonight. I mean, well, Long Tall Sally, she's built sweet. She got everything that Uncle John need. That's very creepy and weird because I do have an Uncle John. He saw Aunt Mary coming and he ducked back in the alley. Is this about an affair? This uncle is having an affair with this Long Tall Sally. He saw Aunt Mary coming, which is his wife, and he ducked back in the alley. Oh. I'm kind of deciphering the song. It's kind of all making sense now. Gonna tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John. He claimed he got the misery, but he's having lots of fun. Gonna tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John. I'm thinking I know what the song is about. I might be wrong about the whole affair thing. If I am, I'm sorry, but that's kind of what I'm picking up from the song. Which, I don't know, that sounds a bit scandalous to be writing about in a song from the 1950s. I don't know, did they write about affairs and those sorts of things in the 1950s? I don't know, it just seems, very scandalous. So I think I might actually be wrong. I'm reading here that on the original recording, because this is a cover of the Little Richard song. recorded by Little Richard and released on March 1956. And the song was also covered by the Beatles, but said here that on the original recording, the opening line states the singer is going to report to Aunt Mary that Uncle John does not, as he claims, have the misery, a southern expression meaning generalized weakness and illness. But I'm also looking at some comments here in regards to a website where people like to interpret the meaning to lyrics of particular songs. And it's saying that apparently, I mean, some people are saying that Uncle John might be his penis. He had his Uncle John in Sally, and then it's saying it ducked in the valley, so he had to hurry up and put his pants back on. People are also saying Long Tall Sally was a transvestite prostitute. I saw Uncle John with bald-headed Sally. He saw Aunt Mary coming, he ducked back in the alley. I don't know, there are many different interpretations of this song, so if you know the official meaning behind the song, please let me know in the comments. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed listening to it. Anyway, let's move on to track number 5, First in Line.
But there's no other could love you stronger, any stronger than I do.
Okay, and that was track number 5, First in Line. This was another hugely romantic song, and I liked it. It was very soft and tender. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't want to say this, it was kind of boring, but I never want to say that about an Elvis Presley song, but I wasn't really feeling it. It's a very romantic song, though. I can imagine this song played at a lot of school dances where the couples are swayed side to side and this song is played, or maybe at a wedding. It's a very romantic song, so I don't know, maybe I would appreciate it more if I was in love and dancing with someone, but just singing to the song on my own right here with you guys by myself, it's not the most interesting song, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Anyway, let's move on to track number 6, Paralyzed.
When you look into my eyes, feeling warm, smooth and fine, all I gotta do is stand paralyzed. The same one with you. Remember that wonderful time that I did. I couldn't say a word, all I think of you. All I could do was stand paralyzed. When you held my hand and swore that you would be mine. Couldn't say a word for thinking of you. All I could do was stand paralyzed.
Okay, and that was track number 6, Paralyzed, and I gotta say, I love the production on these Elvis Presley albums. Just like his debut album, I love the production on this album as well, and the things he does with his voice, it's just very entertaining and very sensual, and I enjoyed this song. There's a line in the song that says, I'm gay every morning, at night, I'm still the same. Honestly, that's me. But I understand that gay back then was used to describe someone who was happy, not a homosexual. I don't know when the word gay was used to describe someone who was homosexual. Maybe they did use the word gay to describe a homosexual back then. I'm not sure. I kind of have to research that. But back then, the word gay was used to describe how you felt when you were happy. So now let's move on to track number 7, So Glad You're Mine.
Shaped like a cannonball. So every time she loves me, Lord, you can hear me squall. She cried, ooh. She said, I'm so glad I'm living. I cried, I'm so glad you're mine. Gives me plenty love and morning, noon and night. She cried, ooh. When my baby does what she does to me, ooh-wee, I believe I lips are red and sweet like wine. And when she kisses me, I get high every time she cries.
Alrighty, so that was track number 7, So Glad You're Mine, and I really enjoyed this song. As you just saw, I was waving my arms in the air, and it just put a smile on my face, and I really enjoyed listening to it. However, I couldn't read the lyrics because for whatever reason, there are lyrics to a different song, which is very bizarre and weird. Well, I've got a woman way across town. She's good to me. Oh, yeah. So, those are not the lyrics to this song. So, Apple Music screwed up. But anyway, it was a really great song and I enjoyed listening to it. Let's move on to track number 8, Old Shep.
He jumped in and helped pull me out. His eyes were fast growing dim. I just couldn't do it. I wanted to run. I cried so I scarcely could see. Oh, Shep has a wonderful home.
Okay, that was track number 8, Old Shep. Oh my god. That was probably one of the most dramatic and heart-wrenching songs I ever heard in my life. I am not kidding. Reading the lyrics, I was on the verge of crying. So sad, so I have no words. I have absolutely no words. It was like I was reading a really sad short story. I could hear the tragedy in Elvis's voice. He sang this song really well, to the point where I almost cried. That poor dog. But if dogs have a heaven, there's one thing I know: Old Shep has a wonderful home. I mean, a lot of us have been there where we've had to watch one of our pets grow old to the point where they could walk, they could see, and you just knew in your heart that you had to put them down. You had to put them out of their misery. And I remember when I was a teenager, I had a cat for many, many years named Smokey, a really beautiful charcoal colored cat. And I don't even remember how many years I had that cat for. All through my childhood, all through my teenage years, and he was getting very old. He was getting up there in years, and he was getting very thin. He was going blind, and he was throwing up everywhere. You could just see it in his eyes that he was on the verge of death. So finally the day came when my mom and her boyfriend had to finally take Smokey to the vet to put him down. And I had to say goodbye to him. My mom had him wrapped in a blanket by the front door. And that was the last time I ever saw him. He was being sent to be put down, and that would be the last time I would ever see him. A cat that I had all through my childhood and my teenage years. And when my mom left to take Smokey to the vet to be put down, I was left alone in the house. And I immediately went upstairs to have a shower, and I bawled my eyes out in the shower. I don't remember crying like that since. I just was hysterically crying over a cat that was a part of my life up until now. And just knowing I would never see him again and knowing that someone was going to put him down was so tragic. And I know my story doesn't really make sense with the song because Elvis is singing about a dog, but there are similarities and it just reminded me of that. And I really hope, Smokey, wherever you are in kitty heaven. Aw. Anyway, let's move on to track number 9, Ready, Teddy.
Go and go. I got a girl that I love so already. Down to the corner, pick up my sweetie pie. Give a rock and roll, baby, she's an apple of my eye. You the rest of my day to crazy fire. Ready, 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 ready. Flat top cat. and the dumb the dog. I headed for the gym to the soccer ball. My day, ready, kick on my shoes, roll up my faded jeans, grab a rock and roll, baby, pour on the steam.
Okay, and that was track number 9 already, Teddy. Yes, I am exhausted after listening to that song. I love these sorts of Elvis songs. They're so high energy and they get me exhausted, they get me up on my feet, and I just need to cool down. It's just, oh my god, yes. I mean, this is one of those songs where you play on a Friday or Saturday night at a party or a social just to get everyone up on their feet. Maybe not nowadays in 2020. Maybe if I was to host a social or a party, I would definitely play some Elvis. I don't care what anyone would say. But definitely back then in the 50s, just high energy and exciting and just a lot of fun. Anyway, let's move on to track number 10. Anyplace is Paradise.
Anyplace is paradise. And I will be in heaven, honey, if you're there with me. Well, anyplace is paradise when I'm with you.
Okay, that was track number 10, Anyplace is Paradise. This was another great song. It's pretty self-explanatory. He's saying he could be any place, and it would be paradise. So he could be in an alley, he could be anywhere, essentially. And as long as he was with this special person, it would feel like paradise. Strolling down a shady lane or dancing in the dark, sitting at a park, on a doorstep, anywhere, as long as this person was with him, he would be in paradise. They would be in paradise. So let's move on to track number 11. How's the world treating you?
I've had nothing but sorrow. Every sweet thing that mattered has been broken into. How's the world treating you? I've no plans for next Sunday. Every sweet thing that mattered has been broken into. How's the world treating you?
Okay, and that was track 11. How's the world treating you? This was another. I just spit there. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you saw it. Anyway, this was a very sad song. I'm sure you just listened to it with me right now. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video have heard the song multiple times already. A lot of you grew up with Elvis, have listened to his music through the decades, so you know that this song is pretty sad and depressing. All my dreams have been shattered. How's the world treating you? Got no plans for next Sunday. Got no plans for today. Every day is Blue Monday. This song has always been relatable to people back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even now in 2020, where I feel like depression is such a common thing now, especially now during this pandemic and everyone is quarantined. It's even that much harder. And it just, I guess it's hitting closer home to me reading this song during this pandemic and quarantine, knowing that so many people are struggling and going through depression and they don't have plans, they don't have contact with their loved ones, and a lot of businesses are shutting down, a lot of people, I mean, there's chaos happening in the world right now, so I guess that's why this song is so relatable to me now. And I know I said previously that I love Elvis's more upbeat, fun songs that get me moving up onto the dance floor and up on my feet, but I love his more serious ballads where it's more heartfelt and emotional. I love hearing these sorts of songs from him. Anyway, let's move on to track number 12. How do you think I feel?
Girl, I'm mad about it, so just to get about how do you think I feel? I won't your love's not real. Do you think I feel? Well, I know your love's not real. I know you made your plans. Won't be true again. I know that I can't wait. Do you think I feel? Well, I know your love's not real.
Okay, and that was the final track of the album. Track number 12, How Do You Think I Feel? Once again, I love the production on this song. You just saw me acting like a fool, doing this and this and just all kinds of things with my arms. It was really crazy and weird. But that's what Elvis does to my body. He just makes me do real unnatural things with my arms and my lips and my face and my body. So that is that. That is the conclusion of Elvis's second album called Elvis. And I really enjoyed it. I liked it just as much as his first album. And this is a great continuation of his debut album. And it was a lot of fun. I feel like there were more serious songs on this album. There were more seriously emotional lyrics that were tugging at my heartstrings, more so on this album than his last album. I do feel like this album is a bit more serious than his previous album. I mean, there were some pretty sad moments for me anyway listening to this album. There were a lot of high moments where I was dancing and having fun. A lot of songs put a smile on my face, but there were a lot of moments where I was, on the verge of tears. So I think that's all I wanted to say. I had a lot of fun. I'm having so much fun at listening to these Elvis albums, and there are so many more to listen to. So I'm going to enjoy listening to all of them for you guys down the line. This won't be a steady series on my channel like some of my other series where I do one video a week. I won't be doing one Elvis a week. I just have so many other videos I need to do. So I do plan on doing at least one Elvis video a month, hopefully, going forward. So I think I'm gonna make this a monthly series, not a weekly series like some of my other discography journeys. I mean, the Elvis community, I imagine, must be huge, and the community on YouTube, I imagine, must be amazing. So I really want to hear your stories, and I want to read your comments, not just about this album, but his life and his history, about music, everything, because I want to know what it was like to be a musician back then, to be Elvis Presley. So I think the next Elvis album I will listen to is his third album called Elvis is Back. I know technically it says that Love Me Tender is next, which is a soundtrack album containing the 4 songs from the motion picture of the same name, Love Me Tender. So I don't know, should I do this one, which is an EP, or should I do Elvis is Back? So thank you for watching. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music, you can check out any playlists I'm listening to right now, and the